Mm.
It's another South African show, and we're going to be discussing what Donald Trump did. He showed videos of Julius Malema, with the kill the Boer rhetoric, and it's his own way of defending himself against what he did to the South African, white refugees. And to discuss that with me is Mustafa and Alex. Alex, you're welcome to another South African show.
Okay, welcome. Yeah. So, what is specifically that Malema say in defense of himself? And I saw the video. To me, it's a big joke, but Trump showed pictures of they weren't even in South Africa. Pictures from Congo.
Yeah.
Then there's a genocide, and in this day and age, a 5-year-old can tell you from Google that there's no genocide in South Africa for whites. So all you have to do is type. Let's ask for the numbers, And the definition of genocide is when you try to wipe out a whole race of people. Now there has been violence on whites based on anger.
Yeah,
that's not genocide. That's racist attack.
Of course, it's not genocide.
That happens everywhere. In America, if you go down the wrong street, a black guy be like, "You white asshole," and shoot him, or a white person be like, "You black person," and kill him. So there's racial violence all over the world.
Yeah.
In Nigeria, certain parts of the country, if you're a Christian, they kill you. You understand?
Yeah.
But the thing is that South Africa does not have a problem of black on white violence. It has a problem of black on black. But that's a story for another day. Based on your research, what did Malema say in response to the Trump meeting and everything with Ramaphosa, in which Malema was painted as evil, and Ramaphosa didn't stand up for Malema. He even allowed it to go on. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ramaphosa basically did not stand up for Malema. Even went as far as saying that whatever Malema said it does not represent South African government's position on the issue. And I think what Trump was doing was using something to defend himself, basically, by spotlighting Malema's rhetoric in front of Ramaphosa. And I feel Trump is beginning to overreach in the sense that he's now interfering with South African internal politics, which is not really part of what he should be doing. There's no white genocide here. It's obvious that if white people are being attacked, they're racist attack, just like black people too are being attacked. And most of this attack, like we discussed in the previous show, is based on poverty and unemployment. So it's basically whatever is said to defend the position is took, that is Donald Trump, does not resonate well. Although Ramaphosa too was being careful because, like you guys said the other time, he went to beg for money. So if he had defended Malema, he would have put himself or his whatever it is he went to do in America in jeopardy. So he was trying to be tactful and diplomatic.
There's two things. I believe that Ramaphosa is also part of this genocide story to take South Africans from focusing on the fact that he's going over there to do business. So what happens is that Trump, Elon Musk, Ramaphosa, Steenhuisen, Rupert, all of these guys want to make money. And what they want to do is to highlight their trip to the U.S. so that people don't see what they're really going there to do. I believe this whole genocide thing was started.
It's like a cover-up.
Cover-up, to cover up on things. Because we have to remember that in South Africa, remember we did a show, Alex, you and me and Afolabi, in which Kunene from the PA told Trump, "Don't worry about Malema. He's a small boy. You can come to the G20." In South Africa, Malema is attacked by the ANC. So why will Ramaphosa stand up for Malema when Malema is Ramaphosa's enemy? Because EFF stands for something that the ANC doesn't stand for. EFF is friends with a white party in South Africa, which represents interests of people who, during the apartheid era, they put black people down. The DA is a racist government, and Ramaphosa is in alignment with them, and he brings students to DC. And they attacked during that meeting of Trump. They attacked Zuma. They said, "Oh, the last president was the one who sent Elon Musk's surveillance cameras from America out because he said that America will use it to spy. But now that he's gone, don't worry, you can now bring your stuff back to South Africa." You see what I'm saying? So in that meeting, they made scapegoats of Zuma and Malema. So I'm tired of South Africa saying, oh, Ramaphosa did us proud. He doesn't realize he's stabbing you people in the back because he went there and talked bad about Zuma and talked bad about Malema because
Malema, yeah.
those are his political enemies. What do you think, Alex? Yeah.
Like when you're putting it like that, it does really put things into perspective, because, politics, you can never really be certain if it's real or not.
Yeah.
And it being a distraction I totally believe it could be a distraction, this whole genocide thing, because it's not even real, you know? So,
Yeah.
like, obviously, Ramaphosa went there to sell us out, either like he sold certain minerals or like he gave Trump certain benefits that we'll never be aware of, or maybe we'll be aware of them
Yeah.
years later when everything is dried up. So I definitely also believe that this is whole it's a distraction, you know.
That's what I think.
And yeah, and
Because we have to remember
also
also, um, what's his name? Elon Musk wants to come back into South Africa to bring his Starlight satellites and his
I think
electric
it's a
vehicles.
deeper reason than the Starlink. Did you see
Yeah.
the specifications that come with Starlink?
Yeah. But
He
not only that,
won't be
not
taxed
only that,
for 10
South
years.
Africa,
Did you see that?
yeah. Not only that,
When the
South Africa
Starlink,
before with
okay.
Zuma and those guys, they want to tax Elon Musk. So Elon Musk doesn't want to be taxed. South Africa's supposed to tax foreign companies. He doesn't want that. So I think that's why they're using that genocide thing. All of it. He wants to go there and make money in South Africa and not have to pay taxes. Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was saying that today I saw the specifications that come with having Starlink in a country. It
Hmm.
says like for 10 years, Starlink will not pay taxes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
will
Sorry.
also
Sorry, I cut in front of you. Yeah. It means we've been doing our
yes.
research. Yeah.
Yeah, so if the Starlink is in a government infrastructure, Starlink has the ability to be involved in whatever is going on in that infrastructure. Like they can get into the database and one of them. And I found that really creepy. Like,
And he's going to
why?
sell that data to. He's going to sell that data to anybody, including the U.S. government, so they'll know South African secrets. Yeah.
And
That's
yeah, that's what I found.
so that's what it is. This Starlink thing is a way to control South Africa with white interests.
And that's
That's
very
why when
bad,
I
really.
which is why when I hear people saying Zuma stood up to Trump, it's all a thing because what happens is that you Africans say we want to go to America because it's a racist country. Then black South Africans and all South Africans, how dare you call our country genocide? It's not genocide. But meanwhile, they say, yeah, we're not genocide. Thank you for saying so, Ramaphosa. Then Ramaphosa tells uh, um, Musk, now you can do your styling and bring it into our country. But nobody will be paying attention to that. They'll be like, yes, yes, he stood up to Trump. You see what I'm saying? They're not focusing on the real danger, which is that
And
Starlink.
that's the real danger. Elon Musk,
Yeah.
the real
And not only
spy.
that, and you know this to be true, I follow me. Every dollar that Elon Musk has, the U.S. government propped him up there and gave him loans for it. Starlink was developed by the U.S. military.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, they're making it look like it's privately owned by Musk. No, it's really owned by the U.S. military. Musk himself, he came from nowhere. They just gave him big capital investment, but he's also a U.S. puppet. What do you think, Afolabi?
And that's why I think the Starlink will be disguised as a telecommunication solution where, in actual fact, they are stealing data and taking encryption from other countries to expose them and make them more vulnerable. And then
Yeah,
again, it's a service I feel most South Africans will not be able to afford. It's only the
no,
rich people that will be able to afford it. So why go so many years without paying tax? So, and this looks, there's a deal here with Ramaphosa. I'm just not happy with the way Malema is going about it because Malema should be more of a diplomatic kind of person. He's too much of an activist. He tends to be too forceful with the way he does his things. Otherwise, he's hitting the right notes. But the way he does his things, he fell out with Shivambu and Ndlozi too because of his way of doing things.
yeah,
He's a bit too forceful. He's
he's corrupt also with
polished. Yeah.
corrupt with the banking scandal. Him and Shivambu were stealing money from the banks that black people were investing their money in. Zuma too. By doing that, you now give the whites and Ramaphosa because those guys, DA and Ramaphosa, they don't need to steal and do corruption because they own the government, so they can just be corrupt and it's legal. Like you said, Malema needs to watch himself. You have Ndlozi, you have Shivambu, all those guys. he leads that party as if he's the boss and nobody else should listen to him.
Yeah.
That's why he has no political power, because to have political power anywhere, you have to be able to cooperate with people and build grassroots movements.
Yeah.
Malema has not built a grass.
And that's why Ramaphosa was referring to the EFF as a fringe party.
Yeah.
That's demeaning and really derogatory.
Yeah, because if it's a real party, that it's the Malema party. He's controlling it too much. He needs to have a more democratic process
Yes.
within the party
Within
to
the
build.
party.
Because he was becoming very strong, getting the second most votes.
Yes.
Then what's his name comes? Zuma. Now Zuma's party is more powerful than EFF.
Yeah, because most of the people that left the EFF are going to MK.
Yeah, but by doing that, now you have DA rise up in power again, because MK and EFF are splitting votes. So
Yeah, because
so MK and EFF are supposed to be working together, but Zuma and Malema don't want to work.
DA received that much votes. I was so shocked.
It's because
I
of
was
Zuma.
actually terrified. I was like, what the hell? And I feel like now that's why they formed this whole unified party thing, because this ANC saw the DA was this close to gaining power again. And I don't know how long this GNU thing is going to last, honestly. I don't think it will last long.
I don't know.
Family
Politics is crazy. We have to wait and see what happens. Okay, any last thoughts, Afolabi?
Yeah, basically, I think if for anything, this visit of Ramaphosa to the United States has even deepened racial tensions. It hasn't solved any problem. Like you guys rightly said, it's just a visit of personal interest for Ramaphosa. He doesn't have the interest of South Africa at heart, and it's obvious to a lot of them. So it's just a waste of time. You're going there to seek
and black South Africans, even whites who claim they're not racist, are like, yes, our president did our country proud because he stood up to Trump. It doesn't matter, because beside that, what did South Africa gain?
Yeah,
I don't know what we gained.
Yeah, they didn't get
always. You know what they say? Always follow the money. Don't look at the distractions. Follow the money. No money for anything. Nobody talked about violence, gender-based violence. Nobody talked about poverty. Nobody talked about drugs and alcohol. Nobody talked about education. They just talked about Star Satellite. Rupert said it. We need Star Satellite. That's all they talked about. And they also talked about how bad EFSF is and MK Party, because they know that's there.
They'll now make all those guys shareholders when Starlink goes to South Africa.
Oh yeah, to shut them up. Billions of dollars to shut up Malema and co. It's terrible. Yeah. That's why we have to look at the PAC party. That's the only party you got to look at. But we all know that democracy doesn't work anywhere in the world because it's driven by money.
Yeah.
What really works is the people on the ground coming together to change the government. Activism. I don't think democracy doesn't work, because in order to be a politician, you have to have money. And once you have money, the money that's powerful in the world now is the US dollar. So once you get those dollars, they're going to tell you what to say. All right. Thank you, guys. Take us out, Afolabi.
It's been another wonderful South African show. We've been discussing Malema, Ramaphosa, and Donald Trump. And from Alex, Mustafa, and myself, we'll be back again next time.
Yeah, see you guys around midweek. Thank you.